Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we'll have some scenes from the town's annual Veterans Day ceremony.
3, 2, 1.
A new bike path was officially opened, linking the municipal complex to the Brunswick Square Mall. Scams that target seniors is the topic of this week's Voice of Experience. We'll have our review of Monday's town council meeting and more, so stay with us.
Holiday time is shopping time. When you think shopping, think East Brunswick. East Brunswick means bargains, wheels, and sweet deals. The latest fashions for your family and for you. And your best friend too. Keep your best foot forward on land or on snow. With convenient spots to gas up and go. And great places to have fun. All at prices that won't curl your hair. Whether it's an elegant holiday feast, a quick bite, or an exotic delight, East Brunswick's got it. For gifts that sparkle, or put a sparkle in a child's eye. To ring out the old, and to ring in the new. For hoop dreams and sweet dreams. The books we want to read, computers that are up to speed. And don't forget the disc. When you compute all the facts, the answer is clear. East Brunswick means you'll find it right here. You'll find literally thousands of values right here in East Brunswick. From Ryder's Lane to Route 18, the items and services you need, all within convenient reach. This year, save time and money and shop in your own backyard. Remember, when you support local businesses, you help keep taxes down too. When you think shopping, think East Brunswick. I'm Mayor Bill Neary. Happy and healthy holidays to all.
There are many terrific public schools in the United States, but our school, Hammarskjold Middle School, is the best around. Every teacher and administrator at Hammarskjold is intelligent, helpful, caring, and understanding. We have students of every race and religion at Hammarskjold, and we all have a right to the best education. Our school promises that every student will be treated with respect and fairness. Everyone at Hammarskjold gets to know about each other's cultures, and we learn to be kind to each other, even though we may be different in many ways. As a sixth grader, I know that there is a lot that is expected of me, from both my parents and teachers, because they want the best for me. I am working hard to achieve my lifelong goals, and I learn something new and exciting every day at Hammarskjold. The teachers and staff at Hammarskjold are always there to help every student reach his or her potential. As a result, I believe that Hammarskjold Middle School fulfills America's promise.
East Brunswick's annual Veterans Day ceremony took place this past Tuesday at Veterans Park in the municipal complex. Here are some scenes from this year's ceremony honoring our veterans.
This is the first time in the 7 years that I've presided over this service that there are American men and women who are engaged in the tremors of warfare and are facing the scars of battle as we speak at this very moment. We are all jolted by the tragic news every day from far away, and this makes today's Veterans Day observance even more poignant than ever. But tonight, as we gather in peace and as we share the agonies of war, we are once again reminded that there is a large group of individuals, extraordinary individuals, our veterans, who have spent years of their lives training and with preparedness and with anxiety and with sacrifice to face this daily hell. Our veterans are all worthy of our sincerest appreciation. All veterans, whether in peacetime or during war, are very special people who have stepped up to the front lines to protect our freedoms and to preserve our excellent way of life. They have earned our respect, and they have earned our deepest gratitude. Tonight, I represent the 48,000 people who may not be here to personally thank you for your patriotism and for your service. But as your mayor, I am extremely honored that I have the opportunity to express the feelings of the entire community by thanking you. We, the people of the Township of East Brunswick, thank you, veterans, We thank you very much. God bless our veterans, and God bless America.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, and the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, Lamon's bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
America's virtue is not hereditary, as Thomas Paine told us. That is why we must instill with each new generation the values that make this nation great. Things like for God and country, things like that believe in our fellow citizens, that together in a common bond of service to ensure this nation remains the land of the free and the home of the brave. Those of us gathered here today fully understand that the blood the patriots get up have purchased the freedoms that we so enjoy. Throughout America's history, military veterans served this country with honor, commitment, and courage. To every one of them, America must say thank you. Such a thank you can best be given to the actions of our national leaders in providing the right solution to meet the veterans' need. Our first president, George Washington, told us way back 200 years ago, he said, "The willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, shall be directly proportional to how they perceive the veterans of earlier wars were treated and appreciated by their nation." Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for us to make our voices heard. Now is the time for Americans to make choices that are morally right. We have waited long enough for a grateful nation to do what is right to our veterans. May we reflect back on this Veterans Day in years to come, thankful that we made our voices heard, and thankful that our government leader took the risk and took care of America's veterans. To my fellow veterans and friends of veterans gathering here this evening, I say thank you. May God bless all those warriors deployed all over the world. May God bless all the veterans, and may God bless this great nation. Thank you very much.
Ready? 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 Hip flip. Huh. Freeze it. Huh.
Faster than searching the World Wide Web. More inspiring than a half-calf mocha latte. Able to answer any question with insight and detail. This superhero of knowledge can find the answer to any question no matter what the problem. And she works in your neighborhood at your public library. When you need to know, get to know your library. Log on to njlibraries.org.
Hammarskjold provides an excellent education for all of the students to attend. When the students enter their classes each day, their knowledge is expanded in new and creative ways. Students are free to explore and expand upon their interests in very exciting ways. One reason Hammarskjold is such a great place to be is the teachers. Each one of them has their own personality and an amazing way of teaching. They always stop to explain things and make sure that their students understand. The teachers at Hammarskjold School are also very helpful by organizing study groups for tests and handing out study agendas. The agendas keep track of everyone's work and keep students organized. Lastly, the fact that this school is bully-free makes me feel comfortable and safe the minute I enter the doors. Even though I've only been at Hammarskjold for several months, the teachers, the students, and the building itself have proven to me that this school definitely deserves the title of a Blue Ribbon School. I hope everyone will enjoy it this year as much as I will. With a school like Hammarskjold, America is fulfilling its promise to us.
Hi, this is Julian Angeline for This Week in East Brunswick. Welcome to the grand opening of the 1.85-mile-long Ryder's Lane bike path. Today is also special because it is the first annual Mayor's Walk. Come along with me as we talk with the mayor about this exciting new addition to our community and walk with the participants. And what is the route and who is the designer?
Well, it was designed in-house by our township engineering staff, mostly Greg Pekulski and Steve Gottlieb. The route starts here at the municipal complex at the pond and winds its way along Ryder's Lane. Then it goes back down the Ruse Lane, through the woods that connect Riders and Ruse, past the Butterfly Park, past Great Oak Park, and then it ends up at Summerhill Road, which has a connection into the sidewalk that goes to Brunswick Square Mall. So it effectively connects the mall to the library.
That's wonderful. And how many phases of construction are there, and can you describe them?
Well, there's basically two major phases. The first phase you see today is the path itself. Phase 2 will be in the springtime when the ornamental lights and the benches get put in.
Okay. When did the construction begin on the bike path?
The construction started, well, the designs, the engineering work, the property acquisition, all that was done before construction. And construction basically started about the end of September.
Wow. Who worked on the path?
Well, we had an individual contractor who did the work. But the thing that makes today exciting is because the purpose of this thing is beyond the exercise and the official ribbon cutting, is to work with the Daisy Recreation Program, who've helped sponsor this. They've got corporation who are going to do a fundraising for them. We have the Youth Services Council here to join us in the walk. There's a lot of people, now that it's completed in terms of construction, working to make it successful to be people using it.
And who are the other sponsors?
Well, with AMF Mid-State Bowl contributed to these T-shirts. We have Frank's Big and Tall Shop, Route 18 Sports, Sam's Club, and the Clothing Center. So, I mean, these are the volunteers who went out and actually solicited these things, and the business community once again stepped up to the plate.
Okay. What are your plans on the bike path today?
My plans today is to enjoy a beautiful autumn day, take a nice walk with a lot of great people from East Brunswick.
And how are you going to travel?
I'm going to be walking. I had thought about sprinting the 1.9 miles, but I thought because it's a little cold and maybe some of the people can't keep up with me, I figured maybe I'll walk.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
As soon as you get a chance, bring the entire family to saunter, jog, sprint, skate, or ride on the Ryder's Lane bike path. Take some time out of your busy schedules and check out the hard work and creativity that has gone into this wonderful route. Be safe and have fun. For EBTV Channel 3, I'm Jillian Angeline.
Oh, I like that bike. Now, I forgot there was no Sunday State.
Hello, I'm Sharon Riley Morosi, Assistant Director for the East Brunswick Department on Aging, and this is the Voice of Experience. Today we are welcoming Officers Frank Losacco and Officer Mike Knoll from East Brunswick Police Department's Project 18 Community Policing Unit. Frank, how does the Community Policing Unit help the elderly residents of East Brunswick?
Well, Sharon, we offer several programs as part of the Project 18 Community Policing Unit to the residents. We do community talks in places like your senior center and other residences for senior citizens throughout the township. We have literature that we distribute to them. We offer, once every 2 years, we offer the Senior Citizen Police Academy, and we also will actually respond to residents of our town to their house and conduct on-site security surveys of their residents and offer suggestions how they can secure their residence.
What are the most common cons and scams our senior community should be aware of?
Well, the scams that we talked about in our presentation today were the telemarketing scams, telemarketing fraud, where you actually receive a phone call at your house and somebody tries to get money from you that way. A pigeon drop scam, which is where one or two people, usually two, maybe more, try to deceive somebody out of money by showing them found money and then having them put forth some good faith money is what they tell them, and then they just kind of disappear with your money. The third is utility imposter scams, where somebody comes to your house and acts as they're the gas man or they're the public service guy, and they actually get into your house and burglarize your house. It's a diversion type thing. And then there's home improvement scams, where somebody comes and either does no work at your house or shoddy work and charges you way above the usual price for that type of work, and then take off, and it's hard to track them down.
Who are the victims of cons and scams?
Everyone. Everyone out there has been a victim at one point or another. There's no specific age group that these people zero in on. We're here talking to obviously the senior citizens, because that's what we're seeing in East Brunswick as they're victimized here. But everyone is a victim of cons and scams. Doesn't matter if you're 18 or if you're 80. It's going to happen to you, or it can happen to you.
What should someone do if they find themselves a victim of a scam?
Well, they should immediately report it to the police department. If it's something of an emergent nature, they can certainly dial 911 and get police response. If it's something that the time has passed, they can call the local police department here in East Brunswick. It's 732-390-6900 and report it to them, and a police officer will respond and take the report.
For more information on cons and scams against the elderly, or any other programs and services available through the East Brunswick Department on Aging, please call us at 732-390-6896. And please remember, the East Brunswick Department on Aging is here to help you and yours age successfully.
She was recently inducted into the National Storytelling Network Circle of Excellence, the highest honor for professional storytelling, and her stories have been published in 6 anthologies, featured on National Public Radio, and recorded on 5 popular albums. She's Barbara McBride Smith, and she's this year's star performer at the 11th Annual James Hess Folklore and Storytelling Festival, November 22nd and 23rd, right here at the library. Chances are you've never heard Greek myths, or any other stories for that matter, told as Barbara McBride Smith tells them, with down-home irreverence, postmodern humor, feminist baby boomer undertones, and a very engaging Southwestern drawl. When she's not on stage, the native Texan keeps busy as a children's librarian, author, and college professor of storytelling in her adopted state of Oklahoma. Her unique talents have charmed and delighted audiences of all ages at the world's most prestigious storytelling festivals since 1987. At the Saturday evening performance, From Waco to Mount Olympus, you can enjoy Barbara McBride Smith's colorful reinterpretations of Zeus as a thunder-toting Big Daddy, and Pandora as framed by a bunch of good old boys. The Sunday afternoon family performance for ages 7 and up, Bad Guys, Good Guys, and Us Guys, is full of richly detailed stories designed to engage a child's imagination. Don't miss the chance to see this wonderful, award-winning performer. Tickets are $15 for the adults-only performance on Saturday, November 22nd at 8 p.m., which concludes with a delicious unlimited dessert buffet. A show for families with children ages 7 and up is scheduled for Sunday, November 23rd at 2 p.m. Tickets for that performance are $3 per person, or a maximum of $7 per family. Tickets go on sale October 9th and are available at the library circulation desk. The Storytelling Festival is sponsored by the Friends of the Library and co-sponsored by Comcast, Johnson & Johnson, Target, and the Karma Foundation. For more information, please call 732-390-6789 or log on to www.ebpl.org and click on News and Events.
The main topic of discussion at this week's Township Council meeting was a proposal to ban parking on all township streets at times when plows must be brought in to clear the streets of snow. Currently, some streets, known as snow emergency routes, already have prohibitions against parking when plows are out. But these are roads important to the flow of traffic throughout town. The proposed ordinance would expand the prohibition to every street in the township. Here's Mayor Neary.
But when you drive around this community, there's a lot of people who park their cars in the streets for their own convenience when the streets are fine and it's not a problem. But during a snow event, when we have to remove that snow, those cars are in our way. Even in my own home, when my son still lived there before he moved out, we managed to fit 3 cars in a driveway that was designed for 2. For a variety of reasons, not to save just taxpayers' money, but also to make it a lot easier for snow removal. When we had to shovel our driveway out, it was a lot easier because there's 3 cars there taking up a lot of space for the snow. So it could be one of those things that's efficient for the community and also efficient for our taxpayers if they don't have to work as hard to get the snow out of their driveway.
Mr. Williams?
Good evening. I'd like to talk specifically about the benefits of such an ordinance. First of all, in my opinion, it will no doubt improve the efficiency as well as the quality of our snow removal operations. Snowplow operators will be able to clear the streets curb to curb during their first pass. There will be no callbacks after residents dig out their vehicles and the street needs to be cleared afterwards. In fact, residents would not need to dig out their vehicles at all because we'll make the pass, we'll go curb to curb first time that we're in a neighborhood, and then they can park the car out into the street, and there'll be plenty of room to do that. I think residents will be pleased with the improved quality of the snow removal program. Parked vehicles result in a poor quality job. It just looks like we've done a terrible job out there when we have to go around and maneuver around parked vehicles. And this also requires more time for us to come back afterwards and plow that snow after residents have dug out their car and either moved it to the driveway or have gone off to work. And what happens with that is, and we get a lot of complaints about this, a lot of phone calls to the department. And when you ask the employees, every year we talk about what we can do better with the employees after storms and even before the season starts. And they've all requested, what can we do to make things better? And they've all requested, what can you do to get the cars off the street? That's our biggest problem. See what you can do about getting the cars off the street. So from the snowplow operators' standpoint, it's a big issue. Many towns have adopted similar ordinances or considering to do some. Our neighbor South Brunswick has had this ordinance in place for many years. We have some employees that work in that live in South Brunswick and work for us, and they said it was, it's not a big issue. Those cars are off the road, and they were able to do a real nice job. I talked to the public works director out there, and he's said it's made a big difference in the quality of the work of the snow plowing and the efficiency.
If I can ask a question. Captain Mayor is sitting there. The question is if this ordinance is adopted by the Township Council, then it becomes a violation to park in the street during a snow event. At no time have I ever suggested that a public safety department should do something not to make sure that people follow the laws and the ordinances of the town. But at the same time, I think there's an education process that has to be developed because people are into habits that has to be taught. And obviously, when we speak here tonight, not everyone is listening to what we have to say. Captain Mayor, can you give us a little insight about what the public safety department can do to make sure that people have an opportunity?
I assume that would be a concern of the administration and the council would be the enforcement. Maybe some of the council members would worry that our officers at a snowstorm would be out on the streets issuing summons, and that wouldn't be the case at all. From talking to other towns that have this and some of the officers that run this, we would basically work on a complaint system where basically from the operators, if they came to a street where there was a problem or was a car blocking them, they'd call us, and we're not out to hurt nobody and start finding people. We would get a look up on the plate, find out who owns the car, get a hold of those people either in person, by phone, and ask them to remove it. We wouldn't be out just issuing summonses, especially for the first year of this when this is implemented. Mr. White talked about the snow removal streets now. We have 21 streets into the township, and I don't think we've written an ordinance in the last 5 years of someone violating that. People are pretty compliant, and I like to think that the majority of the people on all the streets would be compliant, because I really believe this would benefit the township and the people in the long run.
One issue I'm really concerned with, which is one of the reasons I asked for this to be a discussion here this evening, is to help educate the people. So just by our talking about it, for who is ever watching, this will initiate more discussion throughout the community. But I would like to see something from the administration, some kind of a mailer or something at the beginning of the seasons, and as was mentioned earlier, perhaps for the first few years, to remind people what this is, and especially focus on the benefits, how this will improve the service. And I know a lot of people, the biggest complaint I hear about is, when are they going to get to my street? Well, if we can do the other streets a lot quicker, we'll get to those others a little sooner as well.
There will be a public hearing on the proposed ordinance at the November 24th council meeting.
November 16th through the 22nd marks the 83rd annual observance of American Education Week, a time for saluting our public schools and the relationships between parents, students, teachers, administrators, and other public school employees. The theme of this year's celebration, Great Public Schools for Every Child, America's Promise, reflects our nation's commitment to all students. The interaction between home and school cannot be underplayed. If partnerships between school employees and parents are strong, the children's chances of success skyrocket. American Education Week is a good time to remember that together we can keep America's promise and make public schools great for every child. Please join us in celebrating East Brunswick schools November 16th through the 22nd in American Education Week. A message from the East Brunswick Principals and Supervisors Association and East Brunswick Public Schools, nationally recognized for excellence in academics, athletics, and the arts.
This Sunday, Teddy Bear's Picnic was held in the library. The event was co-sponsored by the East Brunswick Arts Commission, the East Brunswick Division of Recreation, and the Lap Tapestry Project Plus Group. The event was for children with disabilities between the ages of 3 and 10. Elaine Risley read to the group, and there were also snacks and games. The children received teddy bears to take home, each one designed by the Lap Tapestry Project Plus Group.